Let's bring in adjunct professor at Montclair State University, Dan Geltrude, and business and markets analyst, NewsMax contributor, Seth Denson. Good morning to you both. So happy to have you guys. So the morning after Democratic Socialist Zorhan Mamdani's victory, New York City really waking up to the reality that its economic and political identity may be shifting, freezing rents on 1 million stabilized apartments, raising the minimum wage to $30 by 2030, expanding universal free child care, making city buses free. Use all of that word free very loosely. Dan, Mamdani is sounding ambitious. I guess that's an interesting word to use. How is this gonna work in New York City?
Well, no matter how ambitious he may be, there are 2 points I want to make here. First, people get the government they deserve. So we are where we are now with New York. Second, and I can't believe I'm going to have to say this to the Mamdani supporters, is in this country, we have no kings. So we have a system of checks and balances. Mm-hmm. And what does that mean for New York? Well, there is a city council, there is also state government, and there's also the judiciary. So in order for Mamdani to get these ambitious plans through, he's going to have some support in other areas. Now, that may happen, so I would not automatically think out there that this is never going to happen. It may very well happen, but what I'm saying here is he's not going to be able to do it alone.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of people are kind of breathing a sigh of relief, hearing that everything needs to go through other people. I know Kathy Hochul has already come out and said that she's not interested in taxing the rich even more, which was one of his big key platforms that he was running on. Seth, New York City obviously relies heavily on revenue generated by its financial services sector. Seth, what would the shift in New York City's tax environment look like?
Yeah, Alex, I mean, we've talked about it a lot. Money is mobile, and it will go where it thinks it's going to be most successful. And since 2020, we've already seen 158 companies. That's over $1 trillion of assets leave New York. And for New York City, it is 20% of its overall GDP, but it's 30% of the city's revenue. So you start to think about some more of these cities going to places like Texas. We now have Y'all Street, places like Tennessee and Florida. We continue to see that movement. And my hunch is if any of these things start to press, we'll continue to see it because that path has already been carved out.
Yeah, I mean, and the numbers are showing, you look at the census of New York, and it's been going down over the years, and they're projecting it going down even more because of policies like this. They're driving the wealthy and everyone out of New York City. Dan, owners and developers now warn that locking rental income will discourage building upgrades, slow new housing construction, and of course trigger defaults on loans tied to regulated properties. I mean, this could propose legal challenges for Mamdani, and the courts, not City Hall, could determine how far this policy could go. I mean, when it comes to the real estate in New York City, Dan, how detrimental could Mamdani be?
Well, he could be very detrimental. Right off the bat, based upon these policies he's proposing, it's nothing but disincentives for real estate development. So I think based upon that, it's not good for development. At the same time, you may be wondering, well, why would he do this? Well, a quick example would be a building may be owned by one person, but you could have 100 tenants in that building. Yeah. That's 100 voters to one voter. So you could see how the political winds would influence to have these types of policies in place.
I mean, it's just not looking good, And then Seth, I do want to talk about this minimum wage increase to $30 by 2023. I mean, we've talked about what happened in California when they raised it to $16. Businesses closed, restaurants had to fire workers, nobody could keep up, no one could pay for the meals because the meals had to go up. If these restaurants had to pay that minimum wage, it was a disaster in California, and they want to do twice that here in New York City, Seth.
Yeah, that would be dear. You think that dirty dog is expensive now, Alex? That hot dog stand is about to get really expensive. No, here's let's break down the numbers. About 50% of all minimum wage jobs are young people under the age of 25. When we go all the way to 35, that's 80%, meaning less than 20% of all those jobs are people over the age of 35. Here's why that matters. That's where you get foundational business, learning, job experience. That will go away. That will set a generation back. Not to mention all of that stuff, it's going to get passed on to the consumer. But you think automation is big now? Automation is about to take off in New York City, because nobody's going to be paying people $30 an hour.
No, I'm sorry, but the reason for those minimum wage were for the younger generation to get their first job. And now people are saying, well, I've got to have minimum wage that's high enough to raise a family of 6 kids, et cetera. That's not what the minimum wage was really intended to be.
And those aren't the people that have those jobs, Alex, by and large.
Yeah,
those aren't the people that have those jobs.
No, $30. Unreal. Seth Denson, Dan Geltrude, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on this morning to discuss this very important matter that's happening in New York.
Thanks, Alex.
All right, coming